The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. As the 2025 season and year comes to a close, we end another series here with the Triple Bypass League. We've already ended the ARCA series, we've ended the Cup series, and finally now, let's rest upon the Phoenix Raceway and conclude the Xfinity Series Championship in their season number 9. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of, as I alluded to, the Triple Bypass Racing League. They have their Xfinity Series finale here at the Phoenix Raceway. We will be racing in the Heatstroke Hustle 130 right here at Phoenix. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck. Brad Dalton helping me out with the calls. My voice very raspy, so Brad's going to be picking up the slack for me here today, but I managed to get through the monologue. I didn't think I'd be able to do that, Brad, but obviously, we don't have too much knowledge of the Xfinity Series, but always good to see some high horsepower cars at a difficult 1 mile oval.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And I'll go ahead and sum up the Xfinity Series in one name, because one name has dominated here so far in this 14-round season. Jeremy Brown. We watched him fight, we watched him go in Cup, and well, he showed up in Xfinity and he showed out here. Brad Kress in a nice second place, the true number 9 here of the night. We'll talk about that more a bit later. And Caleb Brown in third place. Points have been very decisive here in the Xfinity Series. It's not been the real drop the elbow and argue fight that it's been in others, but here, you know, it's been Jeremy Brown. I mean, 3 wins, 10 top 5s, 12 top 10s. I mean, you can't argue. He's been on top.
Exactly that here. And again, we are today's race. We do want to give shout out to those who helped put today's race on, specifically in the form of sponsorship. That goes to Chad Bear and Brad Kress. So I want to thank them for doing that. But we did have our admin here, our head enchilada, Mr. Al Corey. I wanted to have some words, give some shout outs. Just finished your lap. You said you'd finished 10th thus far, a little bit higher than that, Al, but I know you wanted to have some words here in your Xfinity finale.
Yeah, thanks. Qualifying's early yet. I'm already down to 6. Listen, I just wanted to thank a bunch of people. Start off by not forgetting to thank you guys for a wonderful season. You guys covered, I think, 3 of our 5 series this season, and you did a bang-up job. Everybody raves about it. We all enjoy watching the broadcast back the next day, so I just wanted to say thanks to you guys for that. Also, I want to give a quick shout-out specifically for this series to Ben Harcum, Dominic Zanobi, and Chad Bear, who make up the admin team for this series. So I want to thank them for putting together a really great schedule. I think we ran 75 races this season, and more than half of them were broadcast, and it's just been fantastic. I want to thank all the drivers. I want to thank everybody who pitches in on the admin team, and just say a big giant thanks of gratitude to everybody who was part of TBP. It's been a fantastic season, and we're just thrilled, looking forward to season 10.
Absolutely, and you know, as a client as you guys are, but also having fun racing with you guys on the off week, so glad to be a part of things, and we'll let you get back at it and on the track, man. I know these kind of tracks tend to be your bread and butter. See what you can do tonight.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see what happens. Good night, guys.
And that is Al Corey there, 7th on the board thus far. Zach Nerney in the 9th spot. Again, someone who we always say there, Brad, is just on the breakout of oval success. His Cup Series has been quite well in the Season 9 campaign, but you're 9th on the board here in Xfinity. A complete different can of worms to what you're used to. As a guy who likes road racing, I could see why the Cup car would work for him, but as he just found an invisible wall.
I wasn't expecting an invisible wall to be there, I'm going to be honest. And one of the things, that's been cool about Nerney is that I've actually talked to him a lot this year. I didn't realize how much until I did that Discord recap thing, but he has really been enjoying his time here at Triple Bypass, and Elbows Out, of course, just ended their season last night, and they are on winter break here. So, and he told me, one of the big things he's excited about for the off season is getting to run here with Triple Bypass, getting to have some fun in ovals. So he's a driver that, again, when we go into season 10, I would keep an eye out for him, because I think he's going to be a big star coming through, especially in Cup, where we know Steve McClendon won't run, but here in Xfinity, he really likes these Xfinity cars.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not covering these races, I'd probably be in the seat myself here. So these cars certainly fun to drive. Put the driver more into things here with their less technologically advanced design here. As again, Brett, I told you in the pre-race that Yeti cups, my God, I put a cup of tea out an hour ago. I still can't drink it. Those things are pretty hot. But that is a spot of tea. My throat needs it. But either way, that is the end of qualifying. I want to give a thanks to everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit the like and subscribe button here. Trying to get to 1,900 subscribers, so every bit of help will certainly be appreciated in that goal. But for the final time in the 2025.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm trying to make myself 6 years younger. The 2025 Season 9 Xfinity Series campaign. Brad, let's go down trackside.
And kicking off in the front, it is Chad Baer in a Red Bull paint scheme. Can't ask for much more. And Caleb Brown there in second place to his outside. Brad Kress, the true number 9, will find his way in P3, with fourth place being Daniel Williams from King William, Virginia. P5 will be Sean Bradley. In sixth place, the champion Jeremy Brown will be kicking things off there. Al Corey, the boss man, in P7, with Mr. Dr. Pepper himself, Ben Harcum, in 8th place. P9 here on the night will be Zach Nerney, the cat dad himself, and Mark Herzog in P10. And tell you what, Corey, I'm just going to keep this grid going so that way you can save your voice. Matthew Epting, the fake number 9, the Baja Haha Blast, P11, with the Cat's Meow Derek Cat from Dayton, Ohio, in P12. John the Naj Crutchley, P13, and Samson Lewis Jr., P14 in the 007.
He's looking up. I'm like, what's he looking at?
I don't know what he's looking at. I was wondering the same thing there. P15, Dylan Freeman, and P16, Michael Seymour from Middleburg, Florida. P17, it's a Croc car of Cameron Kane and Ward Fisher in the Reds. P18, and the last car on the grid, Matt Harmon in 19th.
All right, and that will be the end of our 19-car grid here. Phoenix only allots us one very quick pace lap, but we can give you the inklings of details here. This will be a 130 lap race. I do have to update something here because it changed since last I did the graphic. 130 laps, stage of 45. We have the incident system in play, 10 and 16 appropriately. If that comes into play, I don't expect to. And our weather here from Phoenix, again, very, very little of importance, but 73 in the air, 76 track. And that should only get cooler as the night goes on. But the Xfinity Series getting ready to go green here. Chad Baer getting into the restart box. And Caleb Brown to the outside. And let's go racing here in the desert.
We're kicking it off here into turn 1. Drivers actually staying up above the yellow line for at least the race start. And Chad Baer keeping things nice and pretty there as Brad Kress slides the car a little bit early. Caleb Brown there on the outside. 1, 2, and 3 come through. Down into the backstretch they go here for the first time. And everybody keeping it together here. 19 cars kicking off this run. Number 35, the win, Dixie of Daniel Williams to the outside. We get through lap 1. Chad Baer still leads.
But I do believe there, Brad, and I didn't fully checked, but I believe we actually do have the closed dogleg version of the racetrack, so they can't cut the track, so that should be your absolute best news ever. But in the wall there, a couple drivers, I think it may have been Sean Bradley or behind him, Jeremy Brown, who, and he has clinched the title, so all he has to do is nothing, and he wins, so he can race a little more aggressively. Here comes out Corey to the inside of Dan Williams. Dan in that old pseudo car, and Mark Herzog. That's not the right direction with the pseudo number 9 of Epting.
That looked painful for Herzog, and we'll get a quick PTR TV replay dialed up here. Let's get an idea of what happened. So Herzog to the inside, the fake number 9 to the outside.
He done turned him.
Yeah, that was bad. That was a ball blast that just came around.
Yeah, what he said. I'm not hip enough to have any of the...
That is what I said. That is indeed what I said. I can't believe you don't know that one. On board here with Epting, and yeah, I mean, I don't know how else you see that one, honestly.
Well, the obligatory, he dented the can joke. I could at least make that one. But that'll be a very early caution. And, Brad, of course, all of these series have their little inklings to them, their little differentiators, but the Xfinity series specifically does run a lot more akin to the Cup series. So as we said, they have 3 sets of tires. They do have the stage break. Unlike the ARCA series, where, you really have to make that very difficult decision with the 1 set of tires. This should be very similar. I think there's enough sets of tires on the wall that drivers shouldn't be too stressed out about that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and tire wear I don't think is going to be the end of the world here, as Naj Crutchley is into the pits here. Not sure what he did. I'm going to imagine that's fuel to get to the stage. Yeah, so a few drivers making a decision there to get fuel to the stage. Don't exactly remember what a fuel run is here off the top of my head,
more than 45
because
laps,
it
I can tell you
changes. So I wonder if maybe well, I was going to say fuel to the end, but even then that wouldn't make sense. So, because we do run the 100% fuel here in the Xfinity series.
Yeah, fuel load here. I mean, there's a loose rule, very loose rule, that usually a stock car can go about 90 miles to a tank gas. I mean, it's not always accurate, but it's just kind of an average rule that I've kind of made up myself, but it seems to be true more often than not. So that being said, when they make the pit stop to the end, it would be close to get to the end, but that would imply that we have no interruptions via caution flag. But going to 1 to green, looks as though the leader is going to execute the lane choice decision, and Chad Baer going to take the outside.
And I honestly think that's a good decision here around Phoenix. I think the outside line on a restart is really, really good, because that start-finish line is in such a weird spot coming through. You can get a good run to the outside, and usually through 1 and 2, people like the outside. So I think it's a good decision on his part. We'll see how it plays out, and if it actually is a good decision here in this run for him as they come through. Pace car pulls off a 2, and then it's a long...
the most awkward run in NASCAR, where they kept the pit entry the same, even though they moved the start-finish line, and then they created such a big wide open space there. So the pace car essentially pulls in 3/4 of a lap early. But finally, we are in the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. Leader on the outside, Crest to the inside, caught sleeping. Bradley to the outside, trying to take advantage. Green flag in the air. Someone kissing the fence. Saw some smoke back there.
Yeah, I didn't catch who that was. Just taking a look here at P2, Brad Kress and Sean Bradley battling it out there early on. Everybody trying to hold on through. And that 46 of Jeremy Brown, again, he wrapped that championship up quickly, and he's just going through. It looks like Ward Fisher taking a little chunk out of the wall there. It looks like he might need to make a stop at O'Reilly's.
Mr. Nerney here started 9th. Currently in the 9th spot. He is stuck behind that there of Harcum and Williams. I was saying before that wreck, of course, anybody who knows the old Busch series would recognize that Winn-Dixie car that Mark Martin piloted to a vast majority of his series wins there. Getting indicators as Brad, you said fuel is 80 laps. And guess what? That was pretty close to my guess.
It was, and that's coming directly from a driver who is calculating it live, so I'm not going to reveal my sources. I'm sure it can be a very educated guess, but yeah, drivers texting and driving and giving us fuel numbers here in the booth. Always appreciated. So 80 laps going through for a fuel run, so they can make it to the stage, no problem. I guess the big problem is tires at that point. 130 laps, you do the math. You're looking at least trying to make it probably lap to the stage 45, and then probably lap 90 from there would be 2/3. It really depends on sort of what you want to do and how bad the tire fall off will be.
Yeah, I think the biggest decision is going to be for the end of the race. Again, it's going to be pretty close if this thing goes green, and a field at this size as Harcum, he's losing spots high and losing spots low here. Not what he would want to see, but with a field size of this, Brad, it's not a small field, but it's not, a full grid. So this kind of field, once they get through this opening segment where everyone's bunched up, once they start to separate out, these kind of races, these kind of field sizes do tend to go green for quite a ways. So we'll see if that comes into play as we do have a battle for the lead. Crest to the inside.
Brad Kress here trying to make a run on Chad Baer, the two race sponsors dueling for supremacy. And traditionally in triple bypass, if you sponsor a race, it's a bad time unless your name is Howie Burrows, then you get a podium. So don't know what that's about, but I can tell you right now, Brad Kress losing a position to Sean Bradley down into third place here as he goes, as they are sending it around through turn 3, fighting hard here and out of turn 4. Top 4 separated by a whole lot of nothing.
Sean Bradley taking advantage of the situation. Always one of the most frustrating things in motorsport is when you try to go for a pass and in turn you actually lose a position through the shuffle. And that was what happened to Brad Kress, falling back to third, kissing that turn 2 wall there as the champion trying to get both trophies on the same night. Jeremy Brown closing on in. Caleb Brown, no relation, in 5th. And again, Al Corey was saying this before, Brad, and we roast on the boss quite a bit, but I have to be honest where honesty is required. These more, dare I say, skill-oriented tracks, I will say that 45 does come to play here. Top 5, he started, 7th or 8th? Top 5, and he's chugging there very slowly, getting closer and closer.
I mean, he is... how do I say this? He is a very strong...
That's an old Good Burger joke, sorry.
That was actually pretty good. But looking at Al Corey's stats here in Xfinity, it's been 6 speedways, 2 short tracks, 2 super speedways, and a road course. And this style of track is his bread and butter, as you said. And really the big thing with that, looking at it, is I think it's just... I don't want to say it's a more traditional NASCAR track, but it's a track that I think really requires more NASCAR-ish abilities than others. There's not as much luck involved.
Yeah, precisely that. You go to an Atlanta, or a Daytona, Talladega, a road course is a very niche situation. But you go to the short tracks, especially here where the Xfinity car, you can slide the car, you can drive it off the right rear, you can drive it off the right front. Yeah, you can populate some wheel spin. As, Epting there nearly kissed the cat there. That's a Mountain Dew and Budweiser nearly clashing. That's a collab that I would not want to try, but your taste may be a little bit different here. But getting a little bit of a run. Chad Baer was about to lose the lead. Now he's pulled away.
Yeah, I think Chad Baer gained it a little bit there from Sean Bradley, taking basically the battle, the pressure off of him and taking the pressure in for P2. That's given Chad Baer a little bit of breathing room here to run through, and he is continuing to just push his way around, running 27.9s when his best was a 27.4, and Sean Bradley behind in the 28s. So that is giving him a little bit of time here, and Brad Kress is faster than Sean Bradley based on lap times, but here's the thing. It's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, and Brad Kress might be the fastest car on track for the last few laps, but if you can't get around the guy in P2, doesn't make a difference there. You're stuck.
And Sean Bradley last time by a lot faster, and you can see right now, Brad, that lines are starting to come into play, namely through 1 and 2. I finally got the old 3 and 4 adage out of my head. I finally got the orientation of this place down as There goes Brown making a pass under crest, but especially when they get to this side of the racetrack here. Let's go on board with Sean Bradley, see what he chooses to do. And see the leader going all the way to the top of the track, and Bradley going to run a middle lane. So now we're getting some dynamicism here with the lines, and that is always something that drivers love, being able to change things around to where you like to run and where your car can get the most grip.
I roast this track a lot because of the open dog leg, but it is one of the things I like about Phoenix is you can kind of choose your line a bit more than other tracks and sort of decide what you're going to do, especially if that dog leg isn't in play. And it really does give some great racing. This is a track where you can see a lot of great battles form up and down the field because drivers feel comfortable enough in the car and with the grip of the track that they can pick what line they're going to run, and it works and it makes a difference. And it does make a difference in the comfort level, as we see Cameron Kane almost missing the braking zone there on the number 28 of Matt Harmon coming through, and I mean just giving some good pressure there in the Croc car that I think doesn't have a night texture on it.
Yeah, it does not have a spec map, and makes you think, what if Eiffel 65 did a remix, I'm Green Dubba Dee Dubba Die? I feel like it would just be Cam Kane's song right now with this paint scheme. He's got a green car with a green window, and I'm going to make all the 90s kids mad because I don't remember much more of the lyrics than that, even though I'm a 90s kid at heart. Dylan Freeman, speaking of 90s, actually I guess it's more 2000s, closing in on Nerney there.
These two stay glued to each other. I feel like anytime I'm in triple bypass, these two are near each other. And I've done spotting for Nerney. I have watched Nerney run races. I have, of course, been here on the broadcast. These two can't stay away from each other. So watch how this goes, because this is going to be a good battle between those two as it shapes up here. Going around the 007 currently of Samson Lewis Jr., putting him a lap down, and then they continue to work their way up, trying to chase down Winn-Dixie there of Daniel Williams, and it'll be a good battle to watch.
Yeah, Freeman trying to see what he can do, and currently stuck. And the track like Phoenix will give you some dirty air to deal with, so not something that you can avoid at these kind of speeds, 130, 140 miles an hour through the corners. So that is part of what leads you to have the different lanes in 3 and 4. I just said it. In 1 and 2, you can have the different lanes. But once you get to the other side of the track here, where the leaders are coming right now, turns 1 and 2, not really much you can do. You kind of maybe 2-3 lanes at most. But again, the awkward geometry of this place does kind of make things a little difficult there. Is getting by Herzog. Herzog was in that caution, and interestingly enough, Brad chose not to pull out the backup car. Did lose a lap, has the backup car still on the truck, but now 2 laps down makes you wonder maybe he should have pulled the trigger on that.
I really thought he would have taken the faster pair there because, you know, even if he didn't take tires or fuel, at least the faster pair would have fixed the car up so he could be running at pace. Right now, I mean, he is running approximately 2 seconds a lap slower than the leaders, which is not ideal for him at all as he goes through, and you can see there just dropping back. He's staying high, staying out of the way, trying to just get some laps in and tapping the wall there on the exit of turn 2, heading down towards 3 and 4, and just trying to, I think, muscle that car through. He's probably going to take a faster pair at the stage if I had to guess.
Yeah, unfortunately 2 laps down though, and Sampson will be the other one. But currently in the free pass spot. Naj, the last one on the lead lap, 14 seconds off the pace, which, barring an utter catastrophe, should be able to maintain that positioning. But here comes Jeremy Brown going for second. Closing in, ran a different lane through 1 and 2, now through 3 and 4. Just as I said, everyone's kind of committed to that same bottom lane. Coming off the corner here, he can't cut the dog leg, but let's see what they do on the other side of the track.
Coming through down, heading towards turn number 1. Jeremy Brown's got to pick. Is he going to go high, going to go low? He's going to send it low there. Sean Bradley not going to give him really that much trouble coming on the exit here through turn 2. And Jeremy Brown getting a bit closer there, not able to make it locked in on exit, heading down towards 3. And he's just looking there. You can see as they let off the throttle, the exhaust backfires coming out of turn 4, heading down towards the start-finish line, hit the dog leg, and now head in towards turn number 1. Just that that consistent pressure is all he's got to keep on him at this point.
Trying to drive underneath, but when you drive underneath, it's harder to get the run off the corner. You need that extra space, that extra lane, that extra distance that the top gives you. But maybe if he can get a good enough run, but it looks as though Bradley's getting the run off of turn 4. That gives him enough opportunity to get a gap to where Brown can't get underneath him. But Bradley going all the way to the top of the track, middle lane there, cutting down low. Can he get any track position? He cannot. And you get to see a little bit of run. That's the advantage from the top, giving Bradley a couple feet on corner exit.
Yeah, and Jeremy Brown is being smart right now. I mean, again, he's got the championship wrapped up. There's no reason for him to overdrive this, push this, cause any trouble. He just needs to finish and finish clean. He's had 3 wins this season. He'd love a 4th here, as he's going to go low, slide up a little high here. Sean Bradley not scared of it at all, though. Keeps it in the throttle, keeps in line. Beautiful move there from him. And again, you know, for Jeremy Brown, he's putting the pressure there. He doesn't need to make any risky moves. He's not racing, you know, he has to finish in a position to secure the championship. He secured that a couple races ago. At this point, he is literally just driving because he wants a win, and sometimes that's the best way to drive, is to just have a little bit of fun here at the end of a season.
Sent it on in there, trying to make something happen, and unfortunately did not work. Again, that's just going to be a different approach he may have to try. To go a little bit higher, maybe running Bradley's tire tracks, fight the aero push a little bit, see if he can get that additional run from the top. Might just be something worth trying, but for the time being, falling back as we are now closing in on 10 laps to go on the stage. Shad Bear, believe he's led every lap thus far, and that is indeed the case here, going for the perfect race. A lot of time left to go, but seeming to have the car to beat here tonight.
Yeah, Chad Bear just comfortable there. Red Bull gives you wings, and in an Xfinity car, it gives you some pace. So he's just running his race, being consistent. He's not over driving at all. He's just running right in the pocket of pace, which is about a 28.5-second lap right now, and just letting that fall off naturally happen in that car. As behind there, Jeremy Brown, Sean Bradley, they're still not done there, coming off the exit of 2. Jeremy Brown's getting closer, but he's still not able to make that pass stick. He's getting closer and closer each lap.
Yeah, and like I said, he's just learning right now. He's just having fun. As with any champion, you always want to go out on top and win the championship and the race at the same time. And I know the race promoters like that because they don't have to promote and do 2 different celebrations. But just as I said, when he's listening to that advice, all right, I couldn't make the bottom work. Let me try to run in his tire tracks, maybe run a little bit higher. And maybe he had to fight the aero push, but I think it may have worked, and now he's trying something a little different here. I don't expect that to work, but again, when option A doesn't work, you got to try option B, or else you just have to relegate and stay where you are.
And relegating and staying where you are is sometimes not the preferred thing from a driver here. Is Jeremy Brown still trying to force the issue? I feel like at this point, he's not so much trying to force the pass as just trying to force an error out of Sean Bradley. And then again, he could be just doing this for fun. This could just be a case of, well, I just want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And that wouldn't surprise me a bit either, to be honest, as we watch him go through and along, heading down, and now deep sin. Can he make this stick, though? He's got to slide it up there. Mid-corner, he loses all the momentum, and then he'll have to drop back in. He'll have to follow through 3 and 4, and then try it again next run. Just switch high, buddy. Switch high, and I think you can do it.
Yeah, he's doing what he can do, but ultimately, you know, just kind of stuck within the confines, and again, not any immediate rush to make it happen, but it's all good learning. This is the best battle on the track, folks. Just looking around, that maybe this battle is spicing up. That is Epting, that is Derek Catt, 13th and 14th. And actually, just as I do that, this was the closest opportunity there. I saw, oh, there is the dive bomb. That is the haymaker dive and set up the crossover move. Sean Bradley's going to go back low, and let's see if Bradley can throw it in as well into 3.
Into 1, he's going to try here. Going through, and he's going to try to make it stick here. I will be shocked if Sean Bradley makes this work. And by golly, he's going to, because he's Sean Bradley there. He's going to make 1 and 2 work there. Going into 3, he's on the inside. To the outside is Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown just doesn't seem to have it in the corners. I don't think the tires have hit a cliff, have they?
I mean, this is the time where they're going to, and there's a little bit of a pick set up here. That is Samson Lewis, and there's Brown too high. Will he be able to get back in line? Will Bradley give him the space? He will. And now where's Samson Lewis going to go in the mix as well?
See, going high here is Jeremy Brown, inside Sean Bradley. Samson Lewis, 007 here, make a decision. He drops all the way down. He's just trying to run a race here.
Oh,
and
no!
Now Jeremy Brown, he's trying to avoid. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was a big wiggle. Let's try to catch that on replay very quickly here, not to cut too much off of the live footage, but coming off of the corner here, Lewis down to the inside. And I don't think Brown was expecting the 007 to be as slow as he was through the dogleg there.
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting him to be as slow, and he wasn't expecting him to stick inside like he did. And I will say, Sean Bradley could have ran away with that. It looks like Sean Bradley dropping back into P3 yet again there. And look who that's reeled into the mix. Brad Kress and Caleb Brown are now here with that little bit of a moment trying to sort things out. And you know, my answer always is with traffic, if you're a slower car, just run your line and just let the faster cars get around you. Be predictable. And sometimes when they're not predictable, that's the moment that happens, is we're white flagged to the stage.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Samson has any damage or not, but he is running about 1.5 seconds off the pace, so that is a tangible amount of speed here. Not sure if anything happened to cause that, but either way, are we at the white, or we're taking the white now, I do believe, because 45, unless we're going to call it now, but I believe should call it at the end of this lap, but that could be a little bit of a surprise. But what is no surprise is Chad Bayer up by 3 seconds. Huge gap. And again, they're still not done here, but Brown does have second. Well, there it is.
Yep, there's the stage going through, and yeah, Chad Bayer, great run on the stage there going around. Jeremy Brown, Sean Bradley, Brad Cresson, Caleb Brown, your top 5 here running through, and then the boss man Al Corey wasn't too far off there in P6.
Yeah, he kind of stabilized out there, but again did a pretty good job, and this will give everybody the opportunity to get their set of tires and fuel, and yeah, they won't be able to make it to the end, but again, you'll have to kind of gamble on how the end of the race is going to go, but we can't worry about the end of the race. Got to worry about the moment that is now. Don't speed. Don't miss your box. It's very hard to pass here. Can't botch that track position.
Not at all. And let's see how they do into the pits. The pit lane entry here on the exit of turn 2. Again, just a long pace down here for these cars to get to their box. It'll be in a corner here. Chad Bayer through. Jeremy Brown trying to give him a little bit of a hurry up. It looks like Chad Bayer playing it safe. Jeremy Brown saying, come on, let's get this thing going. As we come down the long pit lane, and your box, if it's in a turn, is going to be real awkward. Drivers mess this up a lot, and let's see how they do. It looks like Jeremy Brown stopped in well. Sean Bradley's in well. Chad Bayer will have that number 1 pit stall. He's in. Caleb Brown there. And it looks like everyone in the top 5, top 6 that I can see is safely into the box.
Yep, that's all you could ask for, and said a little bit of difficulty sometimes with the corner pit stalls there, but there goes Brown out. Brown may be having the best situation there. No, he stayed second, so that's all you could ask for there. Gets back on track. Now, I know, Brad, we have been slacking immensely with our stage sponsor interview, so I guess this would be as good of a time as any to knock out those if they are even here. Bear and Cress.
I don't see either of them.
All right, well, the day we remember is the day that we can't do it, but we tried. Thanks again to Brad Cress and Chad Bayer, again, for their efforts in sponsoring today's event.
I was going to say, did they make an effort to broadcast tonight? Because that might be a little awkward if they did.
Sorry, I was hoping you would talk more so that I could have a spot of tea, which, by the way, is still too hot to drink after about 1.5 hours in this Yeti cup. I'm gonna have to put it in a regular coffee cup just so it can cool off here. So if it's, it's coming into winter season, it's about 5 degrees with wind chill here in Massachusetts. So if you need something hot, use a Yeti cup. Not a sponsor, but happy to sponsor if they will email us. But coming off the corner is the pace car, stage 2. Getting ready to be on the books here. We'll see what happens. Can the champion get the lead from the outside lane? That's always going to be a difficult feat, but the slow, arduous crawl to the restart box.
This slow crawl is so painful, but the fact that I know they can't cut the dog leg makes it that much better. So we come around to the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. Oh, there we go. Chad Bear with the jump of ages out of the restart zone. Jeremy Brown not able to respond there. Sean Bradley P3 going through, and top 5 of Caleb Brown and Brad Kress just hanging on there as they go through. Watch Nerney there in P6. He likes to be a second stage bandit and try to make his way around. He'll come down the inside. Big wreck.
Commentator's curse if I've ever seen it before.
Was that?
Dylan Freeman lost a hood too.
I said it earlier that Zach and Dylan get very close together and it gets interesting. I gotta wonder.
Well, check out the good old replay here. That's Al to the out. Oh, Al came down, I believe, into Mr. Nanny. So we'll take a gander from the boss's perspective here.
Did he get
That's
a little
not the boss.
wiggle there on exit?
This is the boss.
There's the boss. Let's see here coming through. It looks like Kress is slow.
He ran a tight line. In my opinion, he just ran a tight line. Kind of gave some space off the wall there. And it's one more perspective of it. There is the and then Dylan just really had nowhere to go. And there goes that hood just falafeling around through the safer barrier foam there. But another caution flag in the air. Luckily for Nerney, luckily for Dylan, they do have the avail of the fast repair, which I imagine will likely be executed, especially for Dylan, because I don't think Dylan has a hood.
Not having a hood, does it make you faster? I gotta wonder. It gets better cooling into the engine. Can that give you some extra pace? Maybe he doesn't want to use the fast repair.
I'd say at a Martinsville, that's plausible. Because you cool the brakes off more, but I wouldn't recommend that at a track with this speed. So he's going to come into the pits. Maybe try to get the damage fixed as much as possible. We'll see. I would imagine probably at least 2-3 minutes of repairs on that car. But what's Nerney doing? Yeah, Nerney's coming down. And has he already pit? He did pit for 37 seconds of damage repair. Kept the fast repair. And or if the backup car kept it in check. Let's see what Dylan does. And there's the Papa-Doodle-Doo. Dylan takes out the backup, as expected.
No surprise there. And Dylan Freeman carrying a black flag here at this point. So that is not going to be good for his race. And also the false number 9 of Matt Epting also carrying a black flag. So it looks like a couple of guys already hitting an incident point, which is not good for them, because if that is the case, they got to be real careful here going in as we're coming around out of turn 2 for the long run to the green flag.
Just wanted to give the, we always roast the guys with the mismatched numbers, and the tomato of the race award again going to Epting there. So that's what we call the guys who get the wrong numbers. The tomato of the race, throw them at your leisure. Last time by, Jeremy didn't get the jump from the outside, as most people haven't, but now he has another opportunity to try to fire off Caleb and Sean on road number 2. Let's see what happens, Brad.
He's squeezing him there. He's ready to go, and Jeremy still can't get the jump. coming through around to the line. We're going to go. Lap 53 of 130 started. Jeremy Brown, I tell you what, he squeezed there. He was listening. He was trying to go. Couldn't calculate it out. And now he's got his old buddy Sean Bradley to fight him to the inside. P4, P5, Brad Kress and Caleb Brown going to be coming through. Watch for the boss man, Al Corey. Is he going to try to steal a win here in Xfinity tonight? He's got about 80 laps to try to get it together here. And right now, he's in a pretty good spot going high here on Brad Kress.
That's probably the conservative route to drive there, as some smoke kicking up as more drivers kiss that safer wall. Going a little bit further back, you have Cam Kane and Ward Fisher in the blank red automobile. Nerney on his charge back through the field here. This is the closest of any battle on the racetrack there. Again, more contact with the wall, and Nerney trying to find some space where the space is not to be found.
Yeah, trying to wiggle, weeble, wobble, and just find something through. He's going to go down the inside of Ward Fisher here. He's going to fight. He's going to bring it through into turn number 1. Hard on the brakes, he'll go, and he does clear Ward there on the entry, so he should be able to hold it there as Cameron Kane will come down to block through up ahead here. Look at this, though. This is a good battle. Matt Harmon and Derek Catt going through the Bud and the Amsoil. I don't know if you want to mix beer and oil, but I feel like that's the start of a good old story, I'm sure. Beer and oil coming across the line, trying to fight through, but Derek Catt not able to get past Matt Harmon yet.
Yeah, Harmon doing a decent job. Harmon is one of the most commentators' cursed drivers in the field, so hopefully he can get a little bit of a reprieve from that. Al Corey closing in on Brad Kress. Kress, remember, he was going for the lead for a brief period of time, and ever since that happened, it seems as though he has just been in a slow free fall here. So whether he has some long-term plan to save fuel or something of that capacity, maybe just going for the long-run pace, or maybe everybody else is just starting to figure it out, but Brad not running as well as he did on the opening stint.
Yeah, giving it the try here, though, but, I mean, you said it best, not running the best there, and I don't really have a good answer as to why. That's the thing, usually it's a case of you can see someone get some damage, you can see something come up that really does make the difference, and it's not happening. That's what's weird. Nothing has really sort of shown up that made me think, oh man, he's going to have a problem. He is just fallen off.
But the night is still young, so anything can happen here. Which, again, this little battle here is still hot and heavy. This is outside of the top 10. Ward Fisher going all the way up there to, I guess, Nevada or whatever state is north of Phoenix. Oh, no!
Oh!
Caught that one live. No, I will evade fault until we deduce this further, but let's go on board with our pal Nerney here.
Let's ride here, Cat.
I mean, from that perspective, it's pretty cut and dry, but let's give it another opportunity here.
Let's see where this one goes. And
oh, wait. I think he didn't quite know, or he was trying to give space to the fact that they were 3 wide. So that's where I'm going to... Go ahead.
And there's a little net code in there.
I'm going to stand on that horse there. That I feel like he was trying to give room for the 3 wide, and if anything, Cat wasn't aware that they were 3 wide. That's where I'm going to stand, and I'm going to die on that hill, but... bunch of pit stops to be had, and while these pit stops are to be had, we are going to take a short break here, and we'll be back with you for the restart, so please stay with us. All right, we are back here, PTR TV. Today's coverage, Triple Bypass Xfinity Series Finale, Phoenix Raceway, the Heatstroke Hustle 130. We've had a few cautions here. Stage 2 on the board. Let's see what happens. Bear gets the jump. Bradley struggles from the outside. We're back green, and look at Caleb Brown now going for second to the inside.
Caleb Brown with a great run there to the inside for second place coming through. Sean Bradley trying to fight there on the high line, and we know he can get a good run there. And look who's in P4. Al Corey ready to party as well. Cameron Kane finding his way up into 7th place. We got a lot of guys in a lot of good places here coming through. Hard on the brakes into turn number 3 we go. Coming out of turn 4, Sean Bradley trying to give Caleb Brown the old squeeze-a-rooney as they come across the line, and not able to here, and they'll slot back in, and single file will be the run, at least for the top 7.
Now, worth noting, while we were on break, which I apologize for the break, but, you know, my voice just needed it. There were some pit stops to be had, and Nerney, of course, was involved in the wreck, but more so, Jeremy Brown pit for 4 tires. Some drivers pit just for fuel, but a lot of drivers did choose to pit for tires. That'll be their second set, still leaves them 1 on the wall. And I believe, Brad, and we can correct the math on this, no, that would be 70 to the end. So yeah, so those drivers who pit 100% can make it to the end of the race. So Jeremy Brown in that list as he just mutilates the turn 2 wall.
Oh, that is not ideal for Jeremy Brown there to hit the wall, and we'll dial that up here on a quick replay and get that ready to go here. Let's see where he went wrong. It looks like he lost the back end coming through around, and was he trying to find a gap, or was that a little bit of a pop loose on the back?
Well, unfortunately for him, he didn't have any clean real estate there, and I mean, I'm not sure if that's netcode or if everyone has just killed the wall there, but there was Cam Kane in the green car and a few others having some issues. Again, Cam Kane, remember, he won the Cup race at Atlanta by 1/1000th of a second. Triple bypass record, I do believe, but someone will stand corrected, I'm sure. That's Harcum and the Dr. Pepper car all the way running the wall there, but surprisingly, actually some speed in that lane. Getting that super high. That's like a diamond to the extreme line, Brad, running that high. It gives you such a good run on exit if you can get through the center to not screw it up.
Yeah, getting that run through and not screwing it up is the big key. It's easy to say, but it's harder to do sometimes. And as we can see, drivers are having a heck of a time here and there going through. So we watch Brad Kress still trying to battle his way through. Al Corey up into 4th place here on the run, and Chad Bear up by 6-7. Going through Christ. And around up in the front. I had to do it. Come on, I had to do it one time. You know, one time for the one time as we come up to lap 69. Very nice.
So if you're ever looking to high five someone, here's a new little thing that you can do. This is for my elementary school kids. High five. Up low, down low, up in heaven, which is over your head. And then once you do that, up in heaven, 6-7.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. That's kind of interesting.
It's elementary. You know what I'm actually getting my kids for Christmas now? I went on Temu. And don't roast me. Everyone has their own opinion of it. It's cheap stuff. Getting too casual here. That's good for stocking stuffers. And they had they had good 6-7 t-shirts. So, you know, little gag gifts there. But we digress. Is there a 67 car in the field? Someone's going to change their number to 67 next season. It's a dead given, but Chad Bear. If his name was backwards, it would be Dash Arab. But is he going for the perfect race? Is that still on the it is. The perfect race is still on the table. Dash Arab. That might take off in Discord. Who knows?
Have you taken any sort of medicine or anything? Because you sound like you're...
I'm on like 7 cough drops. If I don't know what medicinal... I looked at the bag. It didn't say don't take more than X in 24 hours, so...
I don't feel like cough drops. Maybe it's just one of those general when you're not feeling well, you get a little slap happy sort of things.
Slap
that's going on because that... Yeah, have you never heard the term slap happy?
I've just heard of doppelganger last week, so I mean I'm not cultured, as we all know.
right, somebody roast Corey in the chat. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be nice to him because he's not feeling good. Howie, you can come roast Corey if you want. You have access to the booth. Also, Howie, why are you awake at 4 o'clock in the morning? That's a bigger question.
Yeah, if you're awake, you should be in this Xfinity car race here. Jeremy Brown, get on the fresh tires. Now, the fresh tires aren't really doing too much right now. Let's bring up the lap graph, and you can see everyone's kind of in the same ballpark. Now, mind you, Jeremy is having to navigate traffic while he's doing that as he gets by the boss man, but I mean, I really don't find any fault in that call, Brad, because he still has an extra set of tires on the wall. He's not stuck in, the ARCA gamble that we always talk about. You have one set, you never know when to take it. He still has another set on the wall. So it's actually more surprising to me that drivers didn't choose to pit on that last caution, giving him really the clear runway.
Yeah, I kind of was looking at that myself and doing the math on it here. It's the fact that he did, and, with everything, it's kind of interesting. And sorry, I have a needy dog that is whining because I assume he's hungry. Maybe he wants to go to the bathroom, and he doesn't eat by himself. He wants you to watch him eat.
Do you have a spouse for that?
I think she's in the middle of a Counter-Strike game, to be honest.
Priorities in the Dalton household. Who has to stop what they're doing to take the dog out? That's the drama starts here. But the drama also starts here. Brad Kress looking to the outside, now to the inside, trying to find whatever run may avail to get by the boss man, Mr. Al Corey. And thus far, not happened. Al misses the bottom. And I'll say, I raced with these guys in the ARCA car last season, and I had a modest level of success. But I know that if you wrap the bottom in what is 3 and 4, there's a lot of time to be gained there. And look at Kress going high, getting the clean air, trying to get the run. Let's see if he can get any kind of momentum built up down the straightaways. He will, and Al's going to give him the top.
Yeah, and watching here, Al gives the top line going through, just trying to see where Brad Kress can go. He's going to try to pick one way over the other, and I don't know that he knows which way to pick here. As he goes around, he's going to go all the way to the high line. Al Corey's going to defend to the middle, and we'll see how that middle runs here for good old Rafter. It looks like he is going to do a good defense there on the run, but Brad Kress able to get a nose there just enough that Al has to give some room. Now we're going to come through into turn 3. Brad Kress, again, just a little bit higher of a line there, trying to hold on. Al Corey trying to defend one more time coming through, and it looks like he's doing good here. Al Corey, not ultimate pace, but tell you what, I don't know how wide Xfinity cars are, but you take however wide Phoenix is, and might feel about the same.
Yeah, but Al's just doing it. He's saying, if you're going to pass me, you're going to do it the hard way. I mean, ultimately, you want to be on the top of the track through 1 and 2, and if he can just maintain any kind of positioning here off of 4, which it looks like he's going to do this time by, he's so ever so close. Can he get to the right rear quarter panel? Answer is not quite, but he's going to dive it on in with everything that he has, and he's going to corner Al there. He's going to pin down that number 45 car, and Al's going to have to suffice. And now, this time by, I believe he should be able to maintain positioning on the outside lane. And actually, no, look at Al get the drive to the inside. What a battle.
What a great battle we're seeing here. Lap 81 of 130 of this Xfinity finale, of the finale of this season of Triple Bypass, and of all of the leagues here for Triple Bypass as they go through. And Brad Kress, that's a hard hit to the wall. I hope the car survived that, because that was a very hard hit. Doesn't look like he really picked up any damage, but it's definitely going to hurt his fight here against Al Corey. But Al Corey's on that inside line, which is the harder line, I'd say, to run and keep going. Let's see how they do into 1 and 2. They go. Brad Kress with a little bit of a run here. Can Al Corey fight it back coming on the exit of 2? Looks like the answer is no, and exiting 2, Brad Kress will have about a half car length to go through, and finally clears.
Yeah, now it makes you wonder how much tire is left after that, because he had to fight like a champion for it. But speaking of tire, the fresh tires on that number 46 has him up to the 3rd spot. And I guess we do have to do some mathematics, Brad. I don't know if you could pull out your calculator here because my brain can't calculate it itself. Our leaders up here, we'll pull up the stints so you could all see, 36 laps. And 36 laps, we have, what is it, 47 to go. So what's 36 plus 47? I guess, or 37 plus 46. I guess it's the same thing. Is it more than 80 is what I'm trying to get at here.
Yes, it is more than 80.
So a lot, is it a lot more? Is it closer to 90 or is it closer to 80 itself?
It's 84.
All right, so given what we've been told, 80 laps is fuel, but that's a very vague statement. That could be at full bananas, that could be at saving, that could be at modest pace where you can save. So it could be close, but one thing we do know is that Jeremy Brown 100% doesn't have a fear in the world when it comes to the fuel load, which him and only a few other drivers, Nerney can say that, Dan Williams can say that, and then you have Cat Harmon and Fisher, as well as Seymour and Naj can say that. So half the field guaranteed to make it to the end, half the field might have some, we don't want to overstate some drama, but based on what we were told, might have a little bit of a predicament.
Yeah, I'm doing some mental math here myself, which is kind of dangerous to do at 10 o'clock at night, I'm not going to lie. But I do think that this is going to be an interesting one to watch and see how it runs through. And, you know, if this comes down to strategy, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it goes. Because at what point do you just decide to throw the parachute out and pull the trigger and give it up? Because at some point, Chad Bear, if he can't make it, is going to have to give it up. And the question truly is, when do you do that? That's one of those things that's easier said than done. The perfect race is still in play, but the fuel count, the fuel load might make it harder.
Now, he has the beneficiary here, well, not the beneficiary, he has the benefit of being able to control the pace. He's up by 2 seconds. Now, he's running basically mirror lap times to Jeremy Brown, but he's not able to really save that much to keep the lead. So he's going to have to basically continue his pace on, which that's not going to help his cause out. So it's going to be hard, but again, maybe the numbers we were given were not fully accurate. But what we do have right now is 19 car field. Everybody's still on the lead lap, so as good a time as ever, I suppose, to do a through the field. Chad Berrigan going for the perfect race in that 91 car, leading things through. Second place is our clinched champion in the form of Jeremy Brown. Third, Sean Bradley in that number 77, having a solid run, as is Caleb Brown in fourth. Brad Kress in the fifth position with the boss man Al Corey, a good solid day in sixth. Nerney, chaotic day, has been in some skirmishes, but he is in seventh. Ben Harcum in eighth, kind of quiet for him. The Crocs car of Cam Kane in ninth, and then rounding out our top 10 is Dan Williams there, Mr. Brad.
Going up from there, P11, Dylan Freeman there, the Avril Lavigne lover, moving his way up 4 places. P12 is the Cat, P11 is the Cat, who started 12th.
Nerney's pitting, which is throwing us off here.
Okay, so Nerney's pitted in, and he is dropping down the order. Moving from there, Ward Fisher is in 12th place, going through, trying to hold on. P13, Matt Harmon up 5 on the day, as he has had a respectable run. Michael Seymour up a couple places into P number 14. P15 here on the night is Matt Epting in that fake wannabe Baja Blast number 9. P16, Naj Crutchley dropping back a couple places, but still having a good run, all things considered. Herzog, we saw his early race faux pas, and he has dropped his way down to 18th. Samson Lewis in 19th place here, just keeping the car steady and keeping his run going. Last place on the field.
I got a joke. Are you ready for my joke?
Oh, I'm ready for
the
joke.
Do you know why he's looking up? Because he's at the bottom of the pylon, and where else does he have to look? Roast.
That was
a little mean, but it's true, right?
That was a roast and a half.
I mean, I guess you can have a roast. You'd have to buy 2 of them, and then do you put the other one in the freezer and cook it later, or do you eat the other roast tomorrow?
Why would you not just eat the other roast tomorrow? It's roast. Roast is delicious.
I mean, leftovers though, they get kind of old. But Nerney did. I mean, I'm just not good with leftovers, man. I mean, I get bored quickly. I need new. But that's just me. And I get, and you get, this is an opportunity to get sick. But Nerney Pitt, now, he was one of the ones who, if memory serves, was in the spot to be able to make it. Because he did pit on the lap that Jeremy Brown pit. But he put 4 freshies on. He's now in the free pass spot, which is going to be important. But he's trying to beat the wall down at all opportunity. But again, very interested in that decision-making call. He could have made it to the end. Tire fall off isn't massive to the point where this is going to be a math call. So interesting why he made that decision.
And he might just be rolling the dice and trying something here. I don't really have an answer for you. Or he took a bit too much damage there from beating the wall up and trying to extend that exit out of 2 is the only other thing I can think of here. Up front, Jeremy Brown still has Sean Bradley and Caleb Brown for company here as they go along. And that's getting really close coming through. But it looks like holding on to it and keeping things together on the exit of 2. Continues along here trying to just sort of get an idea of who is the fastest out of these 3. I'd want to say it's Jeremy Brown, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it could be Jeremy Brown, who is starting to actually run slower laps here. And you can actually see, I don't know if any of our cameras will pick this up. Depends if they want to pan the right way and make us happy here. But I'm pretty sure he does have some noticeable right front damage to that car, which shouldn't be much of a surprise, where he has hit the wall pretty significantly a few times here today. So that car may have kind of plateaued to where it's going to be. In fact, let's bring up the battle tracker, and you can see a 64 to a 55, so a 10th in the bucket for Chad Baer there. So that's obviously in his favor, and that actually would help Chad out, because if he's pulling away, he does have the opportunity to back the pace down if he needs to save.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would wonder about with Chad Baer at this point is how much does he need to save? What really is kind of the run where he's at here as we see Ward Fisher, Matt Harmon go side by side here on the exit as they go past Samson Lewis Jr. here and they battle their way through. And you got the number 9 and trying to battle off with Naj there, almost giving me a heart attack.
Yeah, last time by, and again, I'm not sure what's going on with that 007, but last time by a 31.4. It's kind of running like, who was it? Who was that old guy who took Logano out at New Hampshire? More kind of like Morgan Shepherd pace here. Or who's that guy in the truck series? Norm Benning pace here, Samson Lewis. I'm not sure if there's something going on, but certainly when these drivers catch him, they don't know where to go with that massive closing rate. Hopefully nothing else happens in relation to that here. But coming off the corner here, hitting the century mark, 30 laps to go. We don't know what the full scope is here today. Will everybody make it on fuel? Are there going to be any more pit stops? We don't know if Chad Baer has enough. We know that some drivers we thought had enough have already come back in. So a lot of questions, and well, caution flag will solidify all those questions.
Oh, man, not ideal. Let's get a replay here of what happened going through and see what.
So at surface level, Naj just beat Epting into something that you beat, and Epting, I believe, has incidented out here, which take that out of the old PTR TV history books if Andre is watching. But
ouch, just crush the can, why don't you?
Did Epting enter the corner very slow, or did Naj drive in like a wrecking ball? I mean, knowing Naj, I would not imagine he would drive in that aggressively, but again, I don't have the telemetry live right in the moment to answer that question. But right now, what should be the final stop of the day. Again, even Jeremy Brown, who made that extra stop, still has a set on the wall, so he will not be at a detriment here. Chad Baer, again, trying to preserve the perfect race, and got to have one solid pit stop to keep the trail going for that goal.
Let's see here how it goes for him, and right sides are going to come up.
Oh, is that Herzog?
There goes Herzog,
He's a lap down, though, so that's nothing. Oh, Sean Bradley.
Caleb Brown.
Sean Bradley, 9-second stop. That would imply probably 2 tires, and the perfect race is gone. Womp, womp, womp. How do we not have a Price is Right losing horn on this soundboard yet?
Because we haven't asked them to put one in. We really should ask them to put one in.
I actually have the file on my computer, but I don't know if it'll fit because I know Discord's time limits are very, very limited. But either way, I don't know. There's always the perfect race. I don't know. There's always something about that. It's not very common anymore. Of course, in the real world, hasn't happened in NASCAR since the year 2000 in that very awkward restrictor plate race at Loudon, which I don't even know if you ever knew that existed, Brad. But yes, they did run restrictor plates at Loudon. But yeah, 25 years ago, last time it happened in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I had no idea that they ran restrictor plates at Loudon. That's news to me.
It was an overreactionary situation to the 2 fatalities that happened at Loudon. So they said, we got to slow the cars down. And how else do you do it? Then put a plate on it. So wasn't a very good race, as indicated by the fact that the leader led 300 laps. But if you're bored on YouTube and you want to pull it up, I don't recommend it because it's not really one to watch outside of the pure nostalgia. But what will happen here? Chad Baer, first time all race, he has been in a position where he needs to pass people. Jeremy Brown to the outside. Who's going to get the jump? Of course, can't use the dog leg. That is blocked off here in this rule set here at Phoenix. But let's see what happens here. Fresh tires in row number 2. Old ones on row number 1. Caleb Brown caught sleeping. That's going to really hurt Jeremy Brown.
I don't know why Caleb was asleep like that, but it's going to cause chaos here on this restart. And let's see as Caleb Brown wiggles there through the corner. A little bit of help there. 3 wide going through the 45 in the middle. Cameron Kane there and Caleb Brown there. And Brad Kress is around. We're wrecking. Big one here at Phoenix. And we're still wrecking.
Well, it was all good till it wasn't. Saw Caleb getting loose here through 1 and 2. And, there wasn't a lot of space to be had there coming off of the corner. If you go on, you get the onboard perspective. I mean, he had entitlement to the lane. You could argue someone came up, someone came down, but there's not a lot of space to be had. Dylan Freeman getting mutilated there. Second time today that Dylan has really just been an innocent bystander.
Al Corey was in that one. Ward Fisher was in that one. Cameron Kane was in that one, I believe. On board here with Dylan Freeman. And, yeah, I mean...
Oh, he thought he had it until the last second.
And then Ward Fisher had a similar experience with Al Corey there. He thought he had it till he didn't.
Yeah, we'll get one more perspective of that, and then we'll kind of analyze the live scene right now. And if anything has happened, this is Ward at the back of the pack. You'd think, all right, I have enough time. He's down low. All right, everything's good. Everything is awesome. And then Al says, everything ain't awesome.
He said, no. You're going to be in this one, Ward, whether you want to or not. Black flags for Dylan Freeman, Cameron Kane, and Ward Fisher as a result of that one for incident caps.
Now, that is interesting, Brad. I know this is... So, obviously, the new incident system here in TBP where X amount of incidents is a penalty, drive-through, X amount of incidents further than that is a disqualification from the event. And it seems as though they have been trying to fine-tune what that number should be. I know we stayed at this, and there was a couple races where we went higher, and now we're back lower. And looks like at least, I think, 3 of them, 2 or 3 out of the race.
looks like only one person DQ'd out so far, and it's
DQ. So
the
we
Baja
still have
Blast of Epting.
All right,
so
the rest is just damage then, but
yep, the rest are just in the pits getting fixed.
Abercrombie.
Anyways, words are hard.
Yeah, you're just too busy buying jeans at Abercrombie for $85, so you got the Fitch in your head, clearly.
Exactly. Anyways, we're coming around here 1 to green, and who's going inside lane, who's going outside lane? Well, Chad Bear is going to bear it all down to the inside.
You think Dylan buys stuff at Abercrombie? He's probably the only one in the field that I think probably does.
Oh, 100% he does.
Rip jeans, because you can just go to Marshall's and buy them for $20 and rip them yourself. But no, I'm gonna splatter some paint, rip it myself, and let someone else charge $85 for them. Never understand that. That's a podcast topic, of which this is not. But coming to 22 laps to go, Chad Bear's perfect race is eradicated by the 77, so he is going to want to make short order and at least ensure that he wins the event in the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone on the loud pedal. And I'll tell you, that's probably the best restart from a second-place driver we've seen thus far tonight.
Yeah, and look at this. Second-place driver going to give a run here for a possible lead change coming through. And Jeremy Brown would love to get in the mix as well as he goes through here. Side by side, Sean Bradley, Chad Bear. They'll bring it through onto the backstretch. Into turn 3 we go. And Sean Bradley on that high line, the preferred line. But Chad Bear with a great run coming through. Let's see how they go. Cross the line. It's a gap of less than a tenth.
And this time by down to the inside, Chad trying to do it. Now, mind you, Sean Bradley on what we assume to be 2 tires. And in certain instances, 2 tires can actually be an advantage. If your car is trending tight, you may want the 2 tires. It'll help loosen it on up. And here comes Jeremy Brown. And he is trying to throw his hat in the ring. Didn't get a good restart due to the prior situation, but now has recovered from it and is trying to see which line's going to prevail, pushing Chad Bear into turn number 1, trying to get those 2 tires and send them to the rear. Looks as though Bear should clear, and he will shut the door.
That wasn't a shut the door. That was slam the door. Down the inside is going to go Sean Bradley here, trying to get past Chad Bear the long way through. Jeremy Brown's going to just work his nose in as well. Sean Bradley loses it out. And I think for Jeremy Brown, this might give him P2 here, heading down into 1 and 2. Yet again we go. And Jeremy Brown again to the inside. We watched him do this before the stage against Sean Bradley for 15, 20 laps. And now it looks like he learned from that. He got it together. He got the pass done. He's got 0.3 of a second to get Chad Bear.
Yeah, plenty of time I saw last time. But oh, look at the slide. I saw the same thing Bradley did last time by trying to go all for broke there in turn number 3 and 4. And huge slide job entering the corner there. Brown just trying to get a little bit more than those good years could offer him. And now trying to experiment with lanes. Bradley trying to change lanes. He had to do a lot of that earlier in the event. But Chad Bear, maybe having the most competitive second place charge he's had to deal with all night.
Yeah, and this is where things are going to get interesting because you have Chad Bear, who we know is scary fast anytime he shows up. But then you have Jeremy Brown, who, again, has won multiple races this season and is the champion for this season. So who dukes it out here? Who gets on top? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to get to the end of 17 laps here as they come down the backstretch. Think about it. What do you want to do in the background there? I think that was Brad Kress, or no, that was Derek Catt hitting the wall.
Yeah, that was some hard. Some of it is pure net code, and the internet model sees them getting close to the wall, and it says, hey, they're probably tapping it. But I think that was actual contact there. Caleb Brown, remember he was in that wreck, was in the top 5, but not to be had. Also worth noting our retirees on the day: Epting, Kane. They are out. Dylan Freeman all but out of the race, and Ward Fisher. Now out of the race, so that leaves 19 minus 4. That leaves 15 drivers on the track here with 15 to go.
15 laps to go, 15 drivers. We could play this Hunger Games style. Every lap, the last car is eliminated, but I don't think that would be as fun as what we're seeing right now coming through. Chad Baer, Jeremy Brown still battling it out. A tenth of a second. Jeremy Brown going to try to sneak the high line here on Chad Baer. Chad Baer will defend. At this point, he's driving out of the rearview mirror. He's not even looking ahead. He's driving a majority of this race out of the rearview mirror now because he's got 14 laps to hold Jeremy Brown behind. And, well, they got to be careful because if Sean Bradley gets back in the mix, it could really get interesting here for them as they go through, passing in the back stretch. They are, and Jeremy Brown trying to find a move, Chad Baer trying to defend it, and I mean, this will go all the way to the white flag.
Yeah, I think Sean Bradley might be toast with those two tires, but never know what could happen. Brown kind of stabilizing out here, but going back a little bit further, you find a very important battle from a racer's mind perspective, and not going back to our podcast, but a racer's mind. There is a big distinction. I talk about it all the time. Getting a top 5 versus finishing 6th. And right now, Ben Harcum trying to put the pressure on Harmon for the 5th spot, and Harmon hanging on to that 5th spot. And it looks as though that Harcum's looking to the outside, and then just behind that, Kress looking underneath Al Corey, and then you have Caleb Brown. So a really good battle about 5th on back right now.
Yeah, you got about 5 cars here that are together that all have the possibility to get P5 here. Is Al Corey trying to clear his way behind Ben Harcum, and Brad Kress just there in the mix. That was almost a repeat of what we saw about 15 laps ago going through and around, as they're going to come 3 wide here going on to the front stretch. They go through the dog leg, and Al Corey clearing himself up into 6th place here. Now Brad Kress trying to fight through with Ben Harcum to swap that back around, try to bring the battle back through. All Matt Harmon needs to do right now for the next 11 laps, don't look behind you. Just keep your head down and drive as fast as you can. Because remember, you got Caleb Brown, who's beat Josh Berry in iRacing before, who's trying to chase down top 5.
Yeah, right now Harcum who's going for 5th, but not to be had. Now Al Corey in that position, but Harmon starting to get the edge, and Corey also having to deal with that number 9 car, who has been rather up and down all day, has pace, but just really hasn't been, as I'd say, as consistent as he would like to be with said pace, and that has been hurting him. But Al Corey doing what he did earlier, said, if you're going to pass me, you're going to go high, and Brad said, no, hold my beer. You're going to block the low line, I'm just going to go even lower. Puts that 9 car in a very suboptimal lane, but still able to maintain momentum. Let's see what happens through turns 1 and 2.
Tell you what, Heartbeat Hot Sauce sounds pretty good right about now, because this is a spicy little battle that is going on coming through between the Canadian Tire car and the Hot Sauce car. They are keeping things exciting for the final 9 laps here and the battle for a top 5, because whoever gets ahead here is going to be the one trying to go for P5. And, well, if they're not careful, they're not going to leave each other enough time to go through. Al Corey high here, Brad Kress low. How do they go? And, well, Brad Kress again trying to hold that low line. Al Corey defending high. Is he going to be able to clear this time around? Brad Kress going to try to slide it through. He's not got enough momentum. Al Corey will get it back on the backstretch into 3. Al Corey wanted to squeeze and defend, and Brad Kress said no. Al Corey being respectful, leaving enough room there. They'll come off of turn 4 into the dog leg. They go still side by side. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen 2 cars run side by side for so long and not have a problem with it here, as it looks like Brad Kress might finally clear. Al Corey gives him a little bit of the bumper there.
Yeah, a little bit of contact between the 45 and the 9, but nothing significant there, as things may be getting spicy up front through turn 3 and 4. Jeremy Brown looking high, lost a little bit of time, but I think he may be figuring something out here on the opposite end of the speedway. And this time by, no, Chad Baer is going to take the bottom away, put him in the dirty air. Brown's going to have to go to the top of the track. So again, kind of a chess game up front. What line's going to persevere as we come down to 5 laps to go, and the battle now hot and heavy. Harmon losing the 5th spot, Kress to the outside.
Yeah, that run to the outside there for Kress. Let's see if he can clear his way through now. He's gotten past Al Corey, and I mean, a great move there to get past Harmon. Just cleared his way through. Not a harm in the world. And Al Corey says, hey, let me through. I would like a P5 here, and give me 6th place at least. So 5 laps to go. Al Corey now past Harmon. Harmon trying to defend it here. Not able to wiggle, weeble, wobble. That looks like Matt Harmon getting loose in the car. able to hold on to it, though, but he will lose multiple positions from that down into 8th place now.
Yep, I'm just going back up front again this time, and I know, Brad, you have more of the stats that you can share, but Jeremy Brown, of course, won some cup races. I don't know if we've seen him in ARCA, but obviously been the dominator on this season, and only 4 laps, coming to 3 laps to seal up that championship.
Yeah, of course, Jeremy Brown has been a dominant force here in the run. I mean, he has had only one finish this season outside of the top 10, and that was at Las Vegas. So, I mean, not the worst finish ever. I mean, he's just had great runs. He, of course, won Rockingham. He won Kansas earlier in the season. He won the road course at Portland here in Xfinity. And then, of course, talking about his run in Cup, his battle with Steve McClendon was legendary in Cup. And that is one that you have to remember, you have to respect, you have to enjoy. He finished 4th place in the points there, but I don't think that tells the whole story for Jeremy Brown. But right now, Chad Baird, dominant force here coming towards the white flag. And let's see, I don't think Jeremy will be able to get him on the run on the final lap, but for Chad Baird, I mean, it's a lap and a half here for what was almost the perfect race.
Yeah, almost the perfect race, less a few decisions by Sean Bradley, but either way, the white flag in the air at the Phoenix Raceway. Of course, Jeremy Brown, going to be the champion, would have liked to gone 2 for 2 and had the race win and the championship, but that's not to be had. Chad Baird basically led 98% of this race, had the car to beat, and he's going to do what everyone needs to do with the fastest car, and that's put it in victory lane. Comes through 3 and 4 here at Phoenix in a roundup Season 9 Xfinity campaign. Baird gets the race, but more importantly, Jeremy Brown finally gets to put that championship crown on.
What a great run there. And in that battle on the top 5, just to update there, Brad Kress did pull P5, Al Corey in 6th place. And, well, you can see there Matt Harmon still racing after the race. I don't think he wants this race to be over. I don't think anybody here wants the season to be over, because it's been a great season in all 5 of the leagues that Triple Bypass hosts here. It's been great to see, and it is exciting to think about what's coming up next year.
Yeah, exactly. That is this season comes to a close, and again, the next season kind of impending here, and we'll wait, of course, for our 2025 holiday season to come to a close and look forward to what comes next here in TBP, but we'll let these drivers do their thing. On one end of the track is Chad Baird, and then at start-finish is Jeremy Brown, our champion. And as they do their thing to celebrate their achievements here on the evening, let's go down and wrap things up with the final race results here from Phoenix. Chad Baird get the final win of a margin 7/10 over our champion Jeremy Brown. Sean Bradley, the interrupter of the perfect race, finished in 3rd. Dan Williams in 4th. Brad Kress in 5th. The boss man Al Corey in 6th. And then rounding out our top 10, Caleb Brown, Matt Harmon, Ben Harcum, and the Cat, Derek Cat.
Finishing out the rest of our runners here today, Michael Seymour, P11. Zach Nerney able to rebound up into 12th place after his eventful race. John Minaj Crutchley, P13. Herzog in P14. Samson Lewis Jr. finds 15th. Ward Fisher, P16. Dylan Freeman, Cameron Kane, and Matt Epting, the 19 cars that took on today's race.
All right, we will start our post-race show, Brad. I usually always do 1 and 3, which means I talk more, but we're going to flip-flop things and make you talk more because your voice is more apt to do that today, if you're okay with that. And we'll have you run down to the Phoenix Raceway Victory Lane and talk to our race winner.
Chad Baird running a Red Bull car, which kind of made me scared for how it was going to go, but obviously had the pace here. The perfect race wasn't there, but you had a doggone good race, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, appreciate it, Brad. Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't cause any mayhem like the Red Bull cars do at times on the surface. So, yeah, it was surprisingly went really good. I thought that after practice, I really didn't feel all that good about it, but got off in the race and kind of figured a couple of things out, and it worked out nicely. Oh, Sean there at the end of it, and Jeremy on that last restart or two, man, that was intense. That was exciting racing. I hope it come across that good on the broadcast.
It was great on the broadcast, man. And I got to ask you there, Jeremy Brown was really trying to give you a run for your money. How were you able to hold him off?
I felt like I just had just a touch more pace than he did. He was trying that outside groove, which was a little faster, but it was worse on your tires. I don't know, maybe get maybe 10 or 12 laps out of it, and then you would pay for it. And I seen him trying that at the start of that run there, and I just, as long as he didn't get to my outside, I thought I could hold him off, and sure enough, that's how it worked out. But
man, it was a good one to watch there. Chad, I got to ask you, I mean, 2025 as a whole, it's been a great run here in Triple Bypass. I know you didn't make nearly as many races as you wanted to. Looking into 2026, what's going to be the plans for you here? We're going to see you around more, see you try to chase some championships?
Unfortunately, there will probably be no championships in my future. I just show up when I can, when work allows. So I work on call for the railroad, and if they call some nights they don't. Seems like I work a lot of evening shifts, so knocks me out of coming on here and having fun with you guys, but I make it when I can.
Well, that's kind of lame. Give me your boss's phone number. I'd like to have a conversation. Tell him, hey, virtual cars are more important than a railroad. I'm sure that would go over well. So, Chad, man, it's been awesome to see you here. Anytime you show up, you're always fun and exciting. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Hey, man, if you got the pull, I'll slide you their number. Absolutely,
hey, you never know.
Be glad for the help. But nah, just thanks to everybody in the league, all the admins, and usually this is the point of the interview where I forget who sponsored it and who to thank. But me and Brad sponsored it tonight, so thanks to the Big Ridge boys. We contribute a little bit every now and then. So, but just thanks to you all too, man. Y'all do a great job with the broadcast, and congratulations to Jeremy, very deserving champion. Like, he kicked everybody's butt big time. So, just proud to be a part of the whole deal.
So, man, Chad, well, it's good to catch up with you as always. And, well, if I don't talk to you again, I'll talk to you next year.
Yes, sir, Brad. I'll be shooting you that note.
All right, I'll look out for it. Thanks, man.
All right. And then our second place finisher and our champion here of the Xfinity Series, Jeremy Brown. Obviously, you want to get the double duty and you want to get the race win and the championship at the same time. Well, one spot shy of that, but either way, a great run here today, and more importantly, a great Season 9 Xfinity season.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, I was a little bit short. I took that gamble early, hoping it would make a difference, but by the time I got back to second place, I had burnt my tires up and he was still pulling away from me. And luckily that last caution came late enough to where it didn't really matter. Nobody else was going to use that extra set that they had. So I got all the use out of my tires tonight. I didn't leave anything on the wall.
Yeah, that's really the best thing that a racer can do, because just leaving that little bit extra what if on the wall always gets you. But like you said, Chad just had a little bit of something extra and you just kind of used up all your stuff. I mean, just all in all, it was a very green flag race. A lot of different lanes. How much fun, just natural fun was it out there here today? It seems like you guys could kind of run wherever you wanted to and make passes wherever.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, especially in 1 and 2. You could run from the wall all the way to really putting your tires below the yellow line. That made for some great racing. I know me and Sean went toe-to-toe for a long time there, that first stint, and I finally got by him, but that was a lot. I told Sean over the radio today, I said, I bet we were having a whole lot more fun than Chad was up there 2 seconds in front of us.
Yeah, we got a lot of that action on the camera, so you get the win here today, and of course you were obviously been mighty fast in the Cup Series as well, so now going into 2026, what are the goals, and I guess what are the expectations of where that 46 should be running?
I really want a Cup championship, and I know, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Mr. 3-time over there, I was a little bit gutted Sunday night that I didn't really get a legit shot at him, just because I had that early damage that I had to come in and fix because I got hit under caution. And then iRacing decided that I was done racing for the night. So that's put me 6 laps down by the time I got back in the lobby.
Yeah, well, and I guess fortunately or unfortunately, you're not going to have to deal with Mr. 3-time going for 4-time, given his personal situation. So it might be on the table easier next season. But either way, man, the floor is yours. I know you got some thanks or shout-outs you want to give.
Yeah, I really want to thank that. I've been in iRacing now, not near as long as a lot of these people, but this is by far the best league I've come apart. They're super fair. Al and those guys, they run a top-notch organization here, and I want to thank Chad and Brad for putting on getting y'all here tonight, and y'all do a great job. Y'all don't get enough credit. I know somebody shouts you out every week, but y'all do a great job. You are by far my favorite commentary team. I think you still own all of my victories, broadcasted victories, so haven't won under anybody else. So, and I hope to see y'all all again next year.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we haven't got fired yet. So we should see you, man, and great racing, and we'll see you next year.
All right, thank you, guys. Y'all have a great off season. Merry Christmas.
You as well, man. And now, last but not least, Sean Bradley with Mr. Brad.
Hey, Sean, third place, man. It was a hard-fought run for you from the beginning. Talk me through your Phoenix race.
I was just trying to, be patient and, race the track more than anything else for the first 90%. And then I went for it with those two tires. But, wow, that was just way too free in the first 5 or 10 laps before they started hooking up. And I lost the lead to Chad, which was just inevitable. I mean, it always is. So congrats to him. Big congrats to Jeremy Brown as well for this championship.
I mean, big fights all the way through. The car seemed like once it got under you, it was quick. Got to ask here, just thinking about the season as a whole, I mean, you had a great run through the season. You think there was anything else in the car or anything, you wish you had done different through the year?
Well, I mean, if I could have joined more races, I would have done that different. But no, it was fine. But if you're talking about doing something different for this race, I probably would have followed Jeremy in for that pit stop he did, just to do something different. It seemed to work out for him. But then a caution came out right after that, anyways. But yeah, no, good season all around.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. And I got to ask you, looking into the rest of I was going to say looking into the fun winter stuff for 2025, but really looking forward into 2026. What's going to be the big plans for you for next year?
Yeah, I'm going to be mostly part-time. I'm going to just be doing a little bit of each series next year. Not sticking around for any full-time runs with anything. So I'm just here to have fun, maybe get a couple trophies.
Absolutely, man. Well, it's always fun to see you on track. You always put on a show and give it a good challenge. Congratulations on the P3, man. And, if I don't talk to you in any of the fun races, we'll definitely be catching up with you next year.
Sounds good. All right. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Sean.
Well, that'll wrap things up here. Our post-race show at Phoenix. I'm going to give congratulations to Jeremy Brown on his championship, Chad Baer on his race win here tonight, Brad.
Yeah, great run there from Jeremy Brown, who I believe has parked his car in victory lane and is just kind of soaking it in. Champion well-deserved there. I'm excited to see how next year goes for him. And, of course, I'm just excited to get to hang out with these guys through the offseason. I mean, I've said this time and time again. This is a league that is very much, all about having friends and fun. And, they've integrated us in very well. And to the point we get to do fun races with them through the winter break. And, when we're not commentating, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly that. We're hosting some races and having some fun, and we'll be back next year. But again, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll be a little quiet here on PTR TV for the end of December as most leagues shut down for the holiday season, but we are looking forward to being back full bore in 2026, and would love to have you along for the ride with us. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.